Hi everyone, welcome to mycloudNews. For those of you who are new to mycloudNews, the focus of this webinar is to provide you with updates from Exeed's cloud services and other products from our portfolio. We will be giving away a Star Wars drone during this webinar, so stay tuned right till the end. Now, for anyone in your organisation that wants to watch this at a later date, the webinar will be recorded and can be watched on demand using the link that you've logged in with. Now, to start off, for an agenda, we've got an update from myself, and I'll be covering off the Empower training portal through partner marketing. I'll give you a brief product update and some upcoming events. Then we'll swap over to Simon Tabrin, who's going to give you an update on the myCloud Store billing platform that we've just launched yesterday. And then finally, we'll have a VGrid update from Bruce. And right at the very end, I'll be announcing the winner for the prize draw. Now, hopefully you've all seen Exeed's Empower. So we launched this site approximately a month ago, and it's designed to help you learn and earn around Microsoft 365 and Azure product suite. So what we're doing is we've listed out 2 webinars that you can watch, and at the end of the webinars, you participate in the 2 quizzes. If you pass, we'll pay you a $50 Prezi card. At the end of the promotion, there will be a major prize draw. So after passing the 2 quizzes, you're eligible to enter your company to win the major award of a $5,000 Microsoft reseller marketing campaign package. So to register, just follow the link once we send this slide out deck out to you, and that will take you through to the registration page for Empower. Now, I just wanted to touch on through partner marketing. So we are looking at assisting with funding on marketing activities for approximately 4 resellers in the next FY20, which starts 1st of July. So if you've got any great stories to tell around a solution or a product within the Microsoft and Azure suite that you've implemented with one of your customers, then let us know. What we need is a plan that's completed via this template, which I've attached inside this slide deck, and then send that through to myself. We will review all the options sent through to us, and if selected, we'll put you through to work with Hachiko, which is our marketing company, to produce your campaign or case study. So just some examples of case studies that we have done are sitting here just to show you. So this is one that was done recently by Command IT on architecting office efficiencies. And we've also done another case study, it won't open, on IT 360 on a Good Seed Trust. So those are some really good examples of some awesome campaigns that we've co-funded. So there's some MPN competency changes coming up. This is really important for those silver partners. Now, they've made some changes around the competency requirements, and that's around exams and how you achieve that competency. So if you need any more information around that, please feel free to email me. But competencies with changing requirements, as you can see here, the most of you guys will be sitting in the small and mid-market cloud solutions. If you are in that competency and you're holding silver, you don't need to worry, there's no change there. It's just if you're holding gold that there's a change. So there's the changes there. So if you want more detail on any of those, then feel free to give me a call. Just a quick product update. Microsoft have recently announced that shared computer activation is now available in Microsoft 365 for Business. So that's a really awesome enhancement to that product. Normally, users can install and activate the Office 365 Business client only on a limited number of devices, such as 5 PCs. Using the Office 365 Business client with shared computer activation enabled doesn't count against that limit. So this helps in scenarios where multiple users are connecting to the same remote computer at the same time. The users can run Office programs such as Word or Excel at the same time on the remote computer. Enabling shared computer activation for Office can also be useful in situations where multiple users share the same computer and the users are logging in with their own account. So there is a link there for further information on that. Microsoft Teams, so there's a brand new feature called live events, which we are actually testing right now for the first time. So live events enables you to broadcast via a stream of your presentation. It's really good for this kind of scenario, and your attendees can watch either live or recorded at a later date via Yammer, Teams, or Microsoft Stream. Upcoming events. So we have got a Microsoft Inspire coming up. So if there's anyone out there that is lucky enough to be attending this, it's an awesome conference. I attended last year. So that's July the 14th to the 18th in Las Vegas. Now we do have I've put in a link here for Apollo's Azure May update. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time for him to come on board for this session, but he will be talking to you all in June, but follow that link there to access his latest monthly update. Now I'm just going to pass across to Simon Tabron, and he is going to give you an update on myCloud Store and our billing.
Great, thanks Janine. Hello all, thanks for joining us again this week. I'm just going to run through, you may have seen an extract out from us yesterday, and we've been working tirelessly with our developers at Layer X on building a billing component as a feature update to myCloud Store. The actual platform itself went live on Monday night. You'll see some new screens, and I'm just going to run you through the curse of the live demo, so bear with me. But I'm just going to show you through how you set these up and how you can actually provide billing files into your account system at any selective day in the month for you, or do it manually. So I'll just show you how we set these up and where these screens sit. So I'm just going to share one of my screens. So we're just looking now at a reseller account. So you guys will all see this as your primary reseller account. This is our myCloud Store test account. There's not a lot of data in here, obviously, being test, but we do, as you can see, have a .on Microsoft domain. So this is actually a live CSP account. One of the features that we've added is you now have the ability to set your billing on a specific day of the month. You can also select whether you want to do it per subscription change or per license or quantity change. We're suggesting probably the monthly, select a day in the month and bill for that day. The other changes can obviously generate a large number of billing files out of the system, but some of our partners were asking for it, so you ask and we deliver. Let me just show you how we can set this up. So it's simply a matter of navigating to your reseller account, the account tools button here on the right hand side, and you just edit the contact details. So scrolling down, you'll see a new field box here with Microsoft CSP billing. The charge notification is the frequency of the billing information, or the charge notify out of the system to whoever within your accounting team. And so if you select monthly, what it does then is it gives you an option to select the day of the month that you want to be billed. Once you select this day, the files will generate and be emailed to the CSP billing email, and that could be accounts at your reseller account, or somebody specific in your organisation that needs to receive these files. Or you can also select to not only email yourselves internally, but you can email the sub-accounts. When you email out to your sub-accounts, what we do is we remove, obviously, your dealer buy price from that file that goes out, and that gives your sub-accounts a descriptive email with a CSV file attached of what's actually being invoiced out as of your selected date in the month. What you can also do here, rather than setting a charge notification date, is you can go back. I'll just cancel out of the screen. Oh, it's hidden behind here. So let's just go back. You can cancel out of that screen, and in products and services, we've had the historic CSP billing report that's been available for some time where you can export subscriptions and export users and see usage charts. But you can also now, you'll see a CSP billing file, and you can generate at any day of the month by selecting a specific date and an email address. You can generate CSP billing files for your entire customer base, or if I come in to my sub accounts, I've got a test account here, you can do it per sub account. If you have a request from your customer as to what their billing's looking like, especially for things like usage, so for Azure, you can generate this file at any stage during the month, and it will give you a consumption for the previous month's charges. So if you were to select it with the date today of the 9th of May, it will select from the 8th of May, from the 9th of, what are we now? May, 9th of April to the 8th of May, and it will give you the billing information based on the consumption usage for Azure for that customer. But you can do that, like I say, across all of your customers if you choose as well. Some of the outputs that are available from this file, let me just share another screen with you. We'll look at the sub-accounts here. So this is subscription based. And what this does is I've obviously deleted a whole load of partner information, customer information, but you obviously have column A as your customer details. Order ID is that alphanumeric string that is compiled by Microsoft. I defy anyone to tell me what it all means. You have a subscription ID and offer ID, so these are what we use to pull through. This is information that you may or may not need for your customer. Obviously, the key thing will be the offer name, so what the license actually is, whether it's a billing cycle of monthly or annual. Obviously, monthly will come up every month, annual will be a once a year billing, and then it gives you the details of the charge start and end date. So that's defined in that screen if you do it manually by selecting whatever date you want to show the billing from, or it can be based on the monthly setup date that you put. Say, what we're probably going to find is a lot of partners will like to bill on the 1st of the month or coincide with other managed service billing that they're doing with their customers. Obviously, you get RRP and your price, the deal by price, and then the quantity, and then that goes out to a total amount. Just expand some of these out. And you also get a list here of charge types, and anything that's got a pro rata will give you a definition. So if I can scroll back across, shows that the Office 365, we've got 2 line items there in column E. Office 365 Enterprise quantity was changed from 15 to 13, and that shows that's the reason why there's a negative amount in there. So depending on the day of the month that you're billing and the changes over the course of the month will obviously depend on the way the pro rata amount tallies up in that column. So these are details that you can grab either via the API endpoints that we've created, or this can be a CSV file that you download or email to a specific address within your organization. So that's the subscription. So your licensing. So obviously with licensing, we bill in advance, and then we have consumption, which, just bear with me, we flick into another screen. And here's my usage file. So this gives me details on the Azure usage for the previous period. So here, in this case, we've gone from the 12th of February to the 11th of March. And it gives you some details that are quite unique to the information that Exeed provides. We've got some clever people in the development team, and they've been able to pull details like workload ID. There'll be another column in between here for tags. So depending on how you as a partner are using whatever naming convention internally, this will be how you can filter this Azure usage file to be able to provide some decent reporting to your customers. It's also obviously quantity used, which is based on the consumption, and then you have a list price, a pre-tax price, which is your retail, and then inserted here will be a dealer buy price. So we'll obviously run the discount algorithm over this before it lands within your accounts team's inbox. So this is going to give you enough information to be able to import this either using our API or just from a CSV import into your accounting systems. I know there's going to be loads of questions about that, so we're more than happy to, via the mycloud store at Exeed email address or email me directly. Most of you have got my contact details. We're happy to answer these questions as we go through. It's, as Janine said, this is brand new for us. It was launched Monday night. So we're really keen to engage you guys and make sure that we're providing the right sort of services for you to be able to invoice your customers simply, but also make sure the accounting processes meet with your service levels internally. So that's me from billing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Bruce Trevathan, who's the Managing Director of VGrid. He's going to jump in and give you some sort of overviews of VGrid as a program, as a platform, and some of the great services that these guys have. My cloud store is for you guys an access point to VGrid, so you can provision. You may have seen in the customer portal a lot of VGrid services through the mycloud store portal. So thanks for your time, and yeah, like I say, we're available for questions. I'm now going to hand you over to Bruce, and we'll talk soon.
Great, thanks Simon. Now be gentle, this is my first time using all of these webinar tools. So sharing screens, right, this should be pretty straightforward, right? So look, let me kick off with an introduction to VGrid. Been operating cloud services in New Zealand for a decade or more, but really the focus here in this webinar is about why VGrid exists for channel for you guys, and how we can help you win more business, which is ultimately the goal when it comes to growing your respective entities. So VGrid is all about in-country cloud services, and really the portfolio speaks to that in relation to small to medium-sized business IT needs, and that extends through everything from servers, as you know, virtual servers, desktops, and we have a very compelling GPU accelerated Windows 10 based desktop offering for those power users. Mail, again, mail has vastly become a commodity, but there are still many customers who require an in-country flavour to their mail, and we certainly see that being common with the likes of lawyers and accountants and medical type professionals, where the data sovereignty laws may still apply in a heavy way. Storage is a fairly broad topic, but storage for us, again, many flavours, and that extends everything from your workstation, your desktop, through to your file server type backups, also off-site backup for existing infrastructure using the Cloud Connect product, file sharing, pure sort of FTP storage, which has some smarts in behind the scenes for the likes of Shadow Protect, which a lot of partners use. Voice services, again, pretty common in the SMB market in New Zealand to pick up some voice services on that UFB connection, and then UFB itself. So, and UFB in many flavors, pure internet connectivity, also layer 2 direct access into the cloud environment, and then we have some wireless options there as well for failover and remote sites where fiber is not an option. So really a whole portfolio that speaks to the outsourced IT story and the ability to outsource what traditionally was on site at a customer's office. The benefits obviously of outsourcing all of that and putting it under one sort of framework is that as a partner you've got this one platform from which you can manage all of that. So your management and support costs ultimately go down, the complexity of managing these environments goes down, and you get to work with our operations team on that tier 2, tier 3 levels of support and architecture as you take these products to market. So just touching again on UFB, key in-country benefits is obviously the reasons why you would look at VGrid in terms of any solution with your customers. Now, the UFB network here in New Zealand is a pretty compelling reason to connect to New Zealand-based services. You can buy a 1 gig or a 10 gig connection, or even just a 100 or 200 meg directly into the server environment. So the example I typically give is that traditionally you may have had a customer who has their IT infrastructure somewhere in their building on a 100 meg or a gigabit connection, and it's become old or end of life, or it's failed, or they need to expand it, and so they put that with VGrid, but they don't want to be disadvantaged in any way in relation to that network speed, the network security, the performance, and so we've made it possible to connect in exactly the same way that you would have when the servers were on site, and so that's a layer 2 100 meg or gigabit or 10 gigabit connection from the LAN to the servers on VGrid, so that there's absolutely no disadvantage to outsourcing that infrastructure. The other 2 key components of working with us here in country is obviously support, same time zone, but also we're very collaborative when it comes to partner engagement. We like to get involved in pre-sales, help you win that business, and that extends to not only advice or co-presenting with you, helping with your proposals, but also pricing. We know that pricing can be complex, and there are many ways to skin this cat, so to speak. There's many ways to actually solve a problem or architect a solution, and the prices to achieve that can vary. So support with pricing is a key one. And another area where pricing becomes important to collaborate with the vendor on, or in this case VGrid, is when you have situations of overlap, where you might be migrating a workload from another provider to VGrid, or you may have some infrastructure that is being leased and gets returned. And when you have that overlap, customer certainly at the end of the chain doesn't want to be paying twice. So let's say it's going to take a week to migrate from cloud provider A to cloud provider B, in this case VGrid. Who pays for that week of overlap on the resources? So what we like to do is work with you on understanding the time frame around the migration and actually absorb that overlap cost for you, so that you don't have to absorb that, and certainly you don't have to pass that on to your customer. All in an effort, obviously, to make that sales process easy and remove all of the barriers to winning new business. Now, I've shared the screen here so that we can just quickly show you some of the tools. So a lot of you will be familiar with mycloudStore, and mycloudStore actually, obviously running on the VGrid platform, means that you've got direct access through that same logon to all of the VGrid service suite. And to just touch on that quickly, under the services menu here, we have a page per product set, and that gives you the ability to click through it and read about and use in your own marketing and proposal content existing material about all of the services. So you can just get that from the web page here. The second thing is the actual marketing assets portal, where you can download case studies, you can download logos, you can download templated marketing files. You can also get access to all of the service definitions and example configurations for all of the services, which speed up the process of producing your own proposals and marketing material. You can just simply cut and paste this stuff or rebrand it. There's some videos there, and we have some keyword images which are pretty close to our heart in respect of our brand essence, performance and reliability. So there's some keyword images in there that speak to the performance and reliability facets of VGrid. And lastly, within this portal, obviously, pricing is a pretty key one. So you can prepare quotes. So you can actually generate a quote. Now this doubles as a deal register. A lot of you will be familiar with deal registers. And the point of naming the deal is that, company A, B, C, D. The point of registering a deal, company has a P in it. The point of registering a deal is that you then become sort of partner on record for that engagement with that customer. So if that customer tried to come through any other mechanism or any other channel or direct, then we have a record that actually they're dealing with you. And we need to honour that route to market and support you best we can to win that business. The tool itself is pretty straightforward. You can add as many servers as you like, give them names, and then configure each server, whether it's running Windows or Linux, and how many CPUs, how much RAM, how much disk of what type, and then all the backup options and so forth. So the quoting tool, pretty straightforward. It generates a PDF that can be emailed to any email address you like. And you can add on to the quote all the other services in the VGrid stack as well, including software and backup services, depending on what it is you need to add to make the solution go. And lastly, here in the portal, which you're already doing for CSP and Azure workloads, you simply you can impersonate from the partner portal here. Once you're on a customer's account, you simply go to the users tab and then impersonate that user. That launches what we call the customer portal, and from there you can manage, provision, and otherwise update any and all of the services that are being consumed. So you can deploy a server, you can add a mailbox, you can increase the backup quota, you can check the call logs on the voice system. A lot of functionality in the customer portal per customer. So a quick overview from me. I don't know quite how this tool works, but if there's questions, then fire those through. Otherwise, again, email addresses are easily obtained. You can email the team at VGrid or myself directly with any further questions.
Awesome, thanks, Bruce. Now we do have a live Q&A that you should see on the right hand of your screen. So if anyone's got any questions for anyone at this time, please feel free to fire them through. We've got Simon, Jason Cox, and Bruce still on the line. So there is a question here for you, Simon, if you want to answer that, from Carl McKenzie. Can you see that? Is there an option to have all monthly recurring charges billed on the set day, and all other charges, annual licenses and pro rata charges, billed immediately? So Simon, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, Carl would need to, if you could email me directly, we'll need to understand the reasoning behind that, because that effectively will be splitting the billing up multiple times. I get the annual licenses, and again, that's why we put the 3 different options in for billing, where you can select either a monthly fixed date, or per change, or per subscription. So there'll be stuff that we can work with you on that if you have a specific requirement, but it's going to take it outside of the, let's say, the cookie cutter approach that we've delivered today. So yeah, happy to take that offline with you, Carl, and we'll share with the group, share with the wider group as we need to.
Thanks, Simon. We've also got a question here from Aaron. What are the billing APIs that you have available? Now, it is an open API, but I'll let Simon talk about that in a bit more detail.
So the APIs are JSON endpoints. So they take so most of the major, let's say, accounting packages or MSP or RMM type tools will accept a JSON script for billing, for the billing component. So yeah, we've created the endpoint in the API server. It's about how you connect and do that based on the specific requirement that you have. We've had a bit of feedback that we haven't provided a lot of documentation. Purely, we've created the endpoint. The documentation really is going to be down to what flavour of software that you're using to create your invoicing out to your customers. We're happy, again, to work with you on an individual basis. Our development team can put together, let's say, a price list of services to help you do that connection. But again, that's between you and your accounting vendor. We've created the endpoints for you, and it's about how you connect to them.
Right, and if anyone has any questions, any other questions, fire them through. Otherwise, I'm going to announce the prize draw winner for today. Now, it is a listen to win, and we normally ask questions at the end, but the first person to ask a question today is Carl. So, Carl, I'll fire down a Star Wars drone to you next week. So, congratulations. Now, thanks everyone for joining. We will be having another webinar next month around the same date, so to keep an eye out for that in your inbox. And thanks Simon and Bruce for presenting today.
Thanks, Janine.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, team.